Hello, darling. How you doing? Oh, I hope that you're feeling fantastic. It is Taco Tuesday, and normally I would do a reading about who wants to talk to you, and that usually comes out as like obviously other people who want to talk to you and why they want to talk to you, but I'm feeling like there is an archetype within you that is really trying to get your attention and try to have a conversation with you, and this is something in your subconscious and your unconscious. And you might be having a lot of dreams, maybe a lot of kind of difficult or confronting dreams that feel, you might not even remember them, but it's just like a restless feeling when you wake up, okay? And it's this archetype in your own subconscious that is trying to get your attention, okay? I'm going to take a minute off camera to really try to connect with this energy and to get some symbols, and I just don't want to waste a lot of time on camera with that because I don't know how many would be interested in me just kind of sitting here meditating for a second, but I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. So, one moment. Okay, I've taken some time to connect to this energy that is within you. And this energy that's within you, it is a very powerful being. It could even be a creature. The way this being, this creature, introduced itself to me, at first it appeared like a lion. Okay? But the closer I looked at this lion, the more I noticed that the mane was like a dandelion or a sunflower. Okay? The energy around this being or creature within was very yellow. So it's all about confidence and self and empowerment. And there's an aspect of this manifestation of your subconscious or unconscious that is a key to you making a powerful change in your life. Now, the meditation imagery that it brought up was very approachable. It was very approachable. It prompted me to start writing some details down, and you'll have to forgive me, but my children have gotten a hold of this journal as well, so there's scribble scrabbles here. But the message that is trying to come through desperately is a key to your power, empowerment, and unearthing a side of you that you might be afraid to unearth. Okay? It showed me a trident. It was funny because at first I thought it was a crescent moon, but then I noticed there was a middle prong. And so I scoped back and I noticed it was a trident, but a crescent moon was the prongs of this trident. And it's like as I was thinking, because when I think I hear the words, so I see a trident and then I hear mentally trident, crescent moon, there's prongs, I'm hearing it, and as these thoughts are coming through, they are echoing. And it almost sounded harmonic. So then this being made it very clear to me that there are many. It's not just one. But the many have not manifested yet. And the many are not individual beings. The many are seeds that will be planted once you integrate this part of your subconscious, because the whole thing is that this being, this creature, this dandelion spirit is you. This is you. This is us. I was then drawn, before I even started this reading, I was drawn to bring in this magnifying mirror, and there's a prompt on here, but it's got a symbol. This is you, this is us. And that was inspired by a different tarot reader. I think his what's his thing? Divine Phoenix Rising? I think that's his channel. And he creates these, I forget what they're called, but he creates these symbols and the mantras to go along with them. And that one stuck out to me. This is you, this is us. Now, I was then prompted to open my eyes. Okay, so I opened my eyes. And immediately my crystal ball caught my attention. I looked over and I see a face. And I'll share an image of the face.
The image of this benevolent being might cause feelings of discomfort to some. Please skip forward to 6 o'clock if you do not wish to see the image.
That I saw, because my crystal ball has basically been here. I've maybe moved it a little bit, but I've never seen anything like this. And it startled me because the facial expression, the body language of this face was very intense. You'll see in the picture, it's eerie. It's a little eerie. It's the same being. And I thought, how can this same being, the same subconscious, unconscious being, be so bright and optimistic and approachable and integratable, and how can it be that and this? I was then drawn to the eyes that you can see in this figure, and how the pupil of this being, it reflects almost like a feline at night. If you've ever seen cat's eyes in the dark, when there's a light turn on, there's a reflection. It made it very clear to me that the reason it has shadow vision. So what you may have been experiencing from this being or this aspect of you is actually fear. You might feel like this is something around you that is something to be feared or something to protect against, because it's actually a hunter. It's like a shadow hunter, but it's for your own shadow. And maybe you've been in a space where you've been feeling like the shadow aspect of you has been very dominant. And this aspect of you, this being in you, illuminates those shadows and wants to help you through it. Wants to help you through it. Wants to help you integrate it. Wants to help you stand empowered in it. Unearthing. It's been buried in the dark, in the dirt, for a long time. And now it's unearthing. Now it's rising. Now it's blooming. And it is a key within you. You are the key. This unconscious side of you, the subconscious being within you, is the key to you rising out of fear and into empowerment. Okay. What's another thing that stuck out about the image here, that instantly I knew I was not to fear this. It was not malevolent. Was, I don't know if the picture will show it, but from a, plain eye view, I still see it there. It has freckles like constellations. And I knew, I was like, this is like the infinite spirit. This is the infinite spirit from the beginning of time to the end of time. This is like universal consciousness, but it's a fragment of it. But it's very integrated with that energy. Okay, let's get into the reading. Thank you. Okay, Spirit, how do you want to start this reading? Sacred Symbols Oracle. No. Okay. What do you want? Wild Unknown Archetypes. This energy feels like it's haunting. That's what you might be afraid of it, because it feels haunting. I keep hearing like a very haunting harmonic melody in my mind. In fact, the song I'm hearing is like Real People Do by Hosier. I never know. I never know how to say his name, that name, but you should look it up. Actually, I'll look up the lyrics real quick. Okay. I'm going to do that real quick because I've got my phone. Okay. Oh, no. Did the wrong thing. Like Real People Do by Hosier. I had a thought, dear, however scary, about that night, the bugs and the dirt. Why were you digging? What did you bury before those hands pulled me from the earth? I will not ask you where you came from. I will not ask, and neither should you. Honey, just put your sweet lips on my lips. We should just kiss like real people do. I knew that look, dear, eyes always seeking. Was there someone that dug long ago? So I will not ask you why you were creeping. In some sad way, I already know. So I will not ask you where you came from. I will not ask, and neither would you. Honey, just put your sweet lips on my lips. We should just kiss like real people do. I could not ask you where you came from. I could not ask, and neither could you. Honey, just put your sweet lips on my lips. We should just kiss like real people do. Oh my gosh, that's so powerful. I've never actually looked at the lyrics of that song. Okay. Let's see. Spirit. Infinite Spirit, my higher self. Mary's higher self. Thank you so much for using me as a channel to guide and instruct. I ask for the most clear and concise messages, information, feelings, and sensations to flow through me for the betterment of my darling, for the highest good of everyone involved. Thanks so much, Spirit. And thank you for being here. Okay, what is the message that this aspect of my darling subconscious is trying to communicate? What do they want to say? What is needing to be communicated here? The Father. Wow. I'm getting the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So this is God energy, the infinite Spirit. In this imagery, I'm seeing this, it's a tree in the middle, polarities. But on this side, it almost looks like a seed that's been buried in a meadow. Okay? That's the way I'm seeing it. So there's something here about this energy is trying to communicate a sense of authority and accountability within you, taking leadership. Okay? What does that look like? Tell me some more. The Bardo. It's encouraging you to take time actually in meditation. I'm feeling like what you see in the darkness here, okay? And the Bardo's an in-between phase, right? An in-between place. But I'm getting that you can meet this aspect of your unconscious similarly to in a meditative practice. So it's almost like you would want to do a meditative practice to get to that place where you're observing the nothingness with your eyes closed, and then asking to see. And look, there are many. Look at all of these skulls around this eye. There are many. So you may have many unconscious, subconscious forms that need to speak to you, that need to communicate something, and you need to be open to seeing their perspective. That doesn't mean that you let it's like researching. And then you decide what works for you. But there's something about not letting your ego try to change whatever messages these beings are trying to communicate. There's something about like observing these messages for what they are. You still decide what's true for you, but you don't invalidate the messages from these things. And it could be uncomfortable. It could be uncomfortable. Part of the message that might come through could have something to do with your own father. It could have something to do with the relationship that you have to father energy and rewriting it. You might see a really uncomfortable side to that. But it's necessary. What else? The Pilgrim, the Lover, reversed, actually. The fault line. This aspect of you wants to speak to you because it feels like you've been on a journey of disconnectedness. And it's almost like the role that you have taken on from your own wounds and programming and your life experience, just on a surface level, has almost made you desire things that are unattainable. Desire things that are not yours, per se. And at the same time, it's like you're repulsed by things that are yours, like your own inner unconscious beings here, your own inner unconscious facets. There's something about there being a divide that needs to be bridged here. There's a gap that needs to be bridged with the fault line. There's a gap that needs to be bridged. It's like I'm looking for myself in others. I'm looking for fulfillment of myself externally, right? And these facets of yourself, these unconscious beings or creatures, are the true essence of yourself and your wholeness. And you maybe have been avoiding that for a long time. And they've been trying to get your attention for a long time. The same pulling that makes them reach out to you is a pulling of what feels like disconnectedness and abandonment from your circumstances. It's like they need to get you alone. And that sounds really bizarre, but they need to get you alone. You need to get you alone. Okay? Why is that? Let's get into tarot. Changes. Drastic changes. I'm getting like time jumping. Okay. Destiny. You pick your destiny. The pick of destiny. I'm wearing my pick of destiny earrings from Tenacious D. Okay. Why does this unconscious being need to get us alone? Six of Pentacles. Look at how we're trying to feed things outside of us. And there's this feeling of like, why are we doing that? This man stands alone with his own abundance, but he gives it to others, right? And this is a great card. This is an amazing card. This is power, and it's generosity, and it's balance, and it's the tangible. There's nothing really quite negative about this card. It can be spreading ourselves too thin, you know? But the shadow element that I'm getting from this is that we're giving to circumstances that can't give the same. Like, these are beggars in this picture, you know? That's fine. People are in need and we can offer what we can give to people in need. But there's something about like we're giving in a way that is desiring acknowledgement. Tell me how generous I am. Tell me how good I am. Show me that I matter here, that I'm significant. Recognize my importance. Recognize my significance. But the energy behind this is that you don't recognize your significance. You don't recognize it. You have all of this, but you don't recognize it truly. You don't value it truly. Because you don't value what you give yourself. You only value what you give others. Okay. Tell me some more, Spirit. Infinite Spirit. Ace of Swords, it's trying to talk to you. Do you see your lack of value that you hold for yourself? Do you see that you choose? You're choosing. Oh, Empress, I got chills, yo. I got chills. I got chills, they're multiplying. And I'm losing control. You're the one that I want. Ooh, 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 honey. Wow, grease. Now I'm hearing elbow grease. Spiritual elbow grease. This part of you is trying to get your attention because like your spiritual elbow grease has been used to try to force and change things out here, but the cogs are stuck and grimy in here. The cogs are stuck and grimy in here. Okay. This being wants you to change the way that you are giving and expressing outward so that you reflect it inward. Okay? Do you value your own generosity? Do you value your time with yourself? Do you value your time on your own? Do you see? Do you see it? Do you see it? King of Cups. Or are you disconnected? I might be talking to someone who's completely disconnected from really their feelings. It's like you can talk about your experiences, but do you feel it? Do you process it? Or do you just intellectualize it? It's someone who can talk about their experiences, but they don't express. There's a difference between expressing emotions and intellectualizing emotions, right? And there's power in you expressing with yourself, giving yourself the safety to do that first. Okay? Okay. Power, creativity, fertility. What else? Ace of Pentacles. Double aces here, guys. 11. Why did I put that there? I put that next to the Ace of Swords and that came after the Wheel of Fortune. This is emphasizing that, like, okay. Thought space. You fight meeting with this aspect of your subconscious. You fight it. You're in conflict with it, with the Five of Swords on bottom. And when there's an internal conflict, then it manifests outwards, right? It's like instead of doing things externally to try to change things externally, which there's a time and place, okay? But there's something here about like the root issue, right? And this aspect of yourself, taking time to meditate, to introduce yourself, to give it a space to speak, will allow you some perspectives on yourself that you have not yet discovered. Ultimately, this subconscious being within you is a very generous spirit itself. It's very generous, and it wants to help. But it can't help if you don't let it. It can't help if every time it tries to meet you, you combat it. So there's an aspect of yourself that you fear. There's a thought process, there's a voice in your mind that you fear entertaining, that you don't want to go there. It doesn't feel good, but it needs to speak. Not that you have to believe it, but you need to it's trying to show you a blockage. It's trying to illuminate a blockage that you can remove through awareness, through acknowledgement, through acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean indulgence. Indulgence doesn't mean resistance or lack of indulgence. Because it's almost like these thoughts, we actually indulge them very in a very manipulative way. We don't even realize it by resisting it. That energy comes out. What was that line in the song? I want to ask you why you were creeping. I'm looking it up. So I will not ask you why you were creeping. In some sad way, I already know. So this aspect of you recognizes how this fear creeps into your intentions in ways that you may not even realize. And it wants to help you. It wants to help you through that. It wants to help you acknowledge so that you're not turning a blind eye to it. You are the key. This is the key to powerful change. And when you integrate it in this first primary way, it feels like accountability. It feels like acknowledgement of a side of you. When you acknowledge it, then it seeds through other instances of your life. You'll see those seeds start to sprout where you can stand empowered in circumstances and you're not fearing this side of you. Okay. Why does it need to be heard in order to be integrated into powerful change? Seven of Pentacles. We go from the Six of Pentacles to the Seven of Pentacles. Because you may be at your wit's end with something and I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. And the thing is, it doesn't feel like there's much else to do but to allow. Maybe you've been doing too much. Six of Pentacles. There's something here about recognizing allowance. Allowance, okay. This has to do with healing. This has to do with healing because it's almost like it feels like who I'm speaking to, you're afraid that there's so much more healing to do. King of Pentacles, Page of Cups. Is there always going to be something that I have to feel, that I have to process, that I have to get creative with, that I have to work with to integrate my best self. It feels like that this King of Pentacles side of us is just always quite out of reach because we just don't ever feel like we have matured enough, that we have healed enough. And I just saw the Seven of Swords. I'm not going to be able to find that again, but I saw it peeking out. Okay, so this aspect of you wants you to establish strength and dominion. Again, it's not going to communicate everything through me in this reading because it wants to get to know you personally. It wants to eliminate me or externals from your private relationship with this, okay? So I'm not even going to be able to touch the surface level barely, just enough to get you to introspect, to connect, to take time to get to know this aspect of you. That's something only you can do, okay? But there is this insistence from this energy that like it's not asking you to do more work. And maybe that sounds like it's asking you to do more work, but that's not the angle it's coming from. When it talks about manifesting or getting into a quiet space, you're like, that feels like effort. And the whole thing is that you've been coming from a place where you do too much. And you're tired and you feel like you're not getting anywhere and you feel disempowered. And we're scared to acknowledge that. It's easier to blame what's going on than to recognize I'm telling myself that I'm broken. I'm telling myself that I'm flawed. I'm telling myself that I need healing in some way. I'm telling myself I am focusing on the negative aspects of me. And I am doing things physically to try to fix that, to fix those issues. And then what feedback I get still confirms I am flawed, I am broken, I need healing. This energy wants to encourage you that you are not flawed, you are not broken, and the only healing you need is to allow yourself to have fun. The initial energy of this was optimistic, happy, powerful. When do you feel those things? When you are doing things for yourself that make you feel good. Not doing things to try to be better. Not doing things to try to fill in the blanks, right? When you do things from your soul. And so this aspect of you is going to teach you how to stop overdoing and how to start being. There's a difference. I can't teach you that in this reading, and I won't. It is not my responsibility. And I couldn't possibly do your own work. It's funny because it's not work. It's not work. It wants you to play, and it wants you to be okay with that, and it wants you to play alone, right? Okay, is there anything else before I close out this reading? Because I feel like this energy, the Hierophant. So this is teaching you something. And the thing is, I'm getting that the student is the teacher and the teacher is the student. You may feel like you have a lot to learn, but really, what you're learning is putting you in a place to teach. And you can only teach yourself how to adopt new habits, new traditions. That is an internal job. I'm feeling like, it's funny, I don't normally like to do a whole lot of timeline stuff. Sometimes I'll mention Taurus season or something, but I keep it pretty generic because time is pretty fluid and every timeline is in the same lane essentially, right? It's all different lanes, but you know, It's all different lanes and it's all the same lane at the same time. Okay, so everything that has ever happened has already happened, and it will happen, and it hasn't happened yet, and it's already happened, and so on and so forth. And it just feels like you're the only one who gets to change what lane you're perceiving. My lights are flickering. And now I'm seeing it's like a halo, right? I use a ring light for my lighting, and it's like a halo, which is looking like a light mane. So, this is going to teach you about yourself. It's going to get you connected to that infinite spirit. Knowing that the infinite spirit is you. This is amazing stuff. It's amazing stuff. Ace of Wands, 3 aces, y'all. I can't make it up. This is a big deal. 3 of 4 aces that come out in a reading. I've only pulled 7 tarot cards, and 3 of the 7 are major, or not major arcana. Oh my God, are aces. What ace is missing? Ace of Cups. That's significant. The feeling is missing. That's something that you're going to learn with this subconscious being within you, okay? It's that Ace of Cups, that expression. That's what it's going to teach you. Interestingly enough, I just looked over at my wall and I scried a kind of explicit image, which was bizarre. And then the Ace of Wands being sort of fiery, kind of sacral energy right now to me. It's feeling can be a little bit phallic. Okay, so there's something here that maybe I want to be careful how I word it for YouTube, okay? But something about tantric, okay? Tantric energy. Could be beneficial. That might be part of what it integrates with you. Anyways, I'll leave this here. I hope that you get to take time to introduce yourself to this subconscious being within you and expect powerful change within you. This being is you. It's an aspect of you. And it's nothing to fear. Okay? All right. I'm going to let you go. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. I love you so much. Take care and ta-ta!